Our first game with balls is called Never Putt. It's a fun mini putt simulation where you're kind of in like this floaty kind of universe of mini putting goodness. And of course, if you go over the edge, your ball plummets to disaster. It's a fun game and it's multiplayer up to 4 players. Kind of starting to see a trend here of NES remakes, because this one really reminds me of Marble Madness. This is called track balls, where you take this marble and roll it around this world and try to avoid other marbles that try to make you lose your marbles. That works on so many levels. It's a fun game, it's free, it's available through Synaptic Package Manager. Next up is Never Ball, another one that's kind of like Marble Madness, but with a twist. It's more like one of those, you know, the trays where you have the marble and you try to avoid getting it into the hole. It feels more like that. You use your mouse to kind of tilt the axis of the ground, and you try to get the coins, and then you try to get into the teleporty thingy at the end. The more points you get, the better you do. Lots of fun, and it's actually included with Never Putt. When you install either Never Putt or Never Ball, you get both of them at the same time. It's a fun game, and you can install it with Synaptic. Now for a couple of games that are deliciously random. You remember Lemmings? It's an old game, but I used to love that as a kid, where, you know, lemmings are lemmings and they tend to follow the leader. So you try to get the leader to do what you want them to do, and the rest will follow. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, all of them will die. Pingu's is the Linux edition of kind of like a Lemmings remake, and it, of course, features penguins, the mascot of the Linux operating system. Pingu's is available for free through Synaptic Package Manager, and it's a great deal of fun. It's been in development for many years, and it's certainly it's really well tweaked. It's got a nice soundtrack, great sound effects, and you'll just fall in love with these little guys. They're so cute. Keep this game away from your work computer. It's extremely, extremely addictive. XMoto just goes to show that a game does not necessarily have to have awesome 3D graphics to be fun and addictive. This is just a riot, and I couldn't believe, you know, you just spend an hour just sitting in front of it and be like, whoops, where'd the time go? Basically, it's just got a physics engine that you try to get this motorcycle to go through the loops and go through the track and make it to the end without bashing your head off of stuff, without driving your motorcycle into spiky things, and basically just trying to keep yourself upright. It's just an absolute joy to play. It's just a lot of fun, and it's called XMoto. Scorched 3D is another fun one, and it's multiplayer. This one basically is like Scorched Earth back in the early days of computer gaming. And if you remember that one, it's a lot of fun. You just kind of use angles and physics and gravity and velocities, and you try to blow up your opponent using pretty cool graphics. Certainly a 3D interface. It's much more sophisticated than the older version of the game. And it's, again, absolutely free through Synaptic. So check it out. It's called Scorched 3D. The first-person shooter that I want to look at tonight is called Open Arena, and of course it's based on Quake Arena, but the difference here is that it's open source, so that means not only is it free as in the price, you don't have to pay for it, but it's also free as in freedom. The code is distributed absolutely free. You can manipulate it if you want. If you're a software developer, you're open to do that. A lot of things are like that in Linux, and this is no exception. It's Open Arena, and it's a lot of fun. Gameplay is not quite as sophisticated as some of the newer games, but it is very nostalgic, and the graphics are pretty cool, as you can see. Definitely a good one for deathmatch if you want to go old school. We can change up our deathmatch just a little bit by making everybody look like a cartoon. That's pretty cool. This is called Warsow. It's another one that is very reminiscent of the old Unreal Tournament style gameplay, but it's got slightly different graphics. Everything looks like it's based out of a 3D cartoon. It's very cool, a lot of fun, and certainly good for having a couple of friends over and playing head-to-head deathmatch. Now, you've heard me say Unreal Tournament a couple times now, and why do I keep mentioning that game? It's old, it's from 1999, but it is a classic. And of course, these days, people who used to play Unreal Tournament back in the days of the early deathmatch, we're looking for something similar. Why? Because LAN parties don't always have 12 people. We can't always justify the huge maps that some of the games have. So games like Unreal Tournament were great back then when we only had 2 or 4 players because the maps are relatively small and it's fun to play. Nexius is probably the closest that I've found in Synaptic Package Manager to the original Unreal Tournament Game of the Year edition. It's a lot of fun, the maps are not huge, and the gameplay is excellent. It's great for smaller LAN parties or if you just want to go head-to-head with a couple of people online. It's a lot of fun. It's Nexius, and it's available for free in Synaptic Package Manager. And the final game for tonight's presentation is called Tremulous. It is incredibly open source. You'd totally expect this game to be a commercial piece of software that you'd pick up at your local superstore. But it's completely free. You can install it directly through Synaptic Package Manager just like every other game that you've seen here tonight. Tremulous is amazing. The gameplay is great. It is a collaborative and cooperative gameplay kind of game. It's one-on-one teams. And of course, you've got the human side and the alien side. The aliens are more reminiscent of super mutant spiders. And the cool thing about Tremulous is that they've taken the physics and the 3D one step further than any other first-person shooter by allowing the spiders to climb on the walls and on the ceiling. It's very cool, adds some new dimension to the game, and it's so much fun. If you've got several people or if you want to just connect through online gameplay, you can get a bunch of people on the internet and be able to play head-to-head with Tremulous. If anyone's ever told you there's no good games for Linux, you can laugh at them! Ha-ha! Because you've just seen it right here, and you can respond with, you know what? There are good games for Linux, and they're free, and they're easier to install than on any other operating system using Synaptic Package Manager. Users of Ubuntu and other Linux operating systems will find that under System and Administrator. For more information on this and other technologies surrounding Linux, Windows, and general technology, visit our website at category5.tv. I'm Robbie Ferguson for Category 5 Technology TV.